In tonight's episode of fecal encephalopathy, 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 in tonight's episode of fecal encephalopathy. In tonight's episode of fecal encephalopathy. In tonight's episode of fecal encephalopathy. Nice. In tonight's episode of fecal encephalopathy. Fuck, that's a hard one. In tonight's episode of fecal encephalopathy. In tonight's episode of fecal encephalopathy. In tonight's episode. In tonight's episode of fecal encephalopathy. Why do I keep saying it? In tonight's episode of fecal encephalopathy. Fuck, I think I had that one. In tonight's episode of fecal encephalopathy. In tonight's episode of fecal encephalopathy, we'll be talking about the correct use of toilets.